Okay. Continuing Hilchos Yom Tiv, Siman Tzadiches Sifches. Kemach shekvar haya merukad, flour that was already sifted. Ela shuraitzel l'rak te'shenis. So you want to sift it a second time. Yesh rak ta'yidei akum. You should do with a goy ayidei oya ayidei shinoi or with a shinoi. Daina shirakad ba'acharei anafa. Do it backwards with the sifter, using it backwards. Hein yasav matzahs ducha is the same thing you should do with a crushed matzah. The kemach shadayin lohoyim merukad, and the flour was not sifted. Also, l'rakta elay de akum b'shino. You can only do with an akum and with a shino, meaning the guy has to do a shino. Also, liver of psalas v'techa kemach. You're not allowed to remove the psalas from the kemach. Kagan shenafal l'sach etzrayras v'kadoima. Pebbles fall into it. It's similar. Mafilu liver mitach matzas ksusos esa pirurim hagadoilim, and even to take large chunks of crushed matzahs from the crumbs, it's aser, right? Because that's the regular way to do it. So mamela, you're not allowed to do that. Test lisha mutar b'yomtiv, to knead, to make chalas mutar yadam v'kamach l'yimdid as the kamach. Don't measure it. Elayikach ba'aymer adas. Take it with some sort of estimation, right? So you're allowed to basically measure, but not exact, right? But if you taka need to measure exact for a food, then you would be allowed to do it. But if you're not going to constrict, meaning you're not going to make it exact, then it's mutter. If you have dough that's cut up and you want to put into the soup, noodles, farfel, that's what he says. Yesh lolash berav yom tov, that you should eat before yom tov, because actually older is better. If you don't need it from Erev Yom Tov, Yolash b'Yom Tov Ayidei Shinut, then do it when Yom Tov Ayidei Shinut. Taino Shem Darkei Lolash al Daf. If you need it on a board, Yolash al Mapil Kedayma, then do it on a cloth. If you gam tafshel she'ena miskalkel, food that doesn't get destroyed, going Paris Yiveshim Kedayma, dried fruits, Yesh Lashem Erev Yom Tov, you should be mavashel it on Erev Yom Tov. Yud Aleph Isa Shalosh b'Yom Tov mutar lahafresh mimenu challah. You're allowed to take off challah if you're making dough on Yom Tov. Haval also l'sarfa, you can't burn it. They ain't sarfin kachim b'Yom Tov. You're not allowed to burn kachim b'Yom Tov because not a tzarich Yom Tov. V'gam also lefaisa mishum de'ena ruya la'achila. You can't bake it either because you can't eat it. Sharei kulanu t'mei mason. We're all tamei mason. We can't eat hafroshes truma, meaning the kahanim. Vasura gamba tiltal, it's also us to take it. Now it's muksa. Rak ba'ida b'yadai. So what do you do? When it's in your hand, yanechena b'makam and on Motzei Yom Tov, you leave it in a secure place until Motzei Yom Tov, you safran, and then burn it. Visa shalosh b'erev Yom Tov, also lahafresh mimenu challah b'Yom Tov, and dough that was needed on erev Yom Tov, you can't be mafresh it. And Yom Tov ela oifa v'oichel, you eat it. You bake it and eat it. Omaniach kitsas pas sheyavash mena Motzei Yom Tov. You leave a little bread over from Motzei Yom Tov, then you separate it. That's what happens when you forget to take off challah before Yom Tov. You need to leave over some bread in order that you can take off the hafrashas challah on Yom Tov, after Yom Tov. Yud Beis also legavel tit b'Yom Tov. You are not allowed to knead clay or mud on Yom Tov, even with the guy. Let's say it's Yom Tov going to Shabbos, so the way they insulated their ovens is they took mud and insulated it. You can't do that. You have to leave kneaded dough from before Yom Tov. Also, you can't take dirt or mud from the street. Unless you prepared it on Erev Yom Tov and you left it in the corner. And it's proper to not smear the opening with tit or refesh, at least the move below ticha. Just keep it there, just like stuff it without smearing it. Because some say that doing mimareach, smearing, is also even the tzarech yomtiv. One more, Yud Gimel, if you have birds that are in your house or in your yard, and they're meant to be eaten, as opposed to laying eggs. And they're already hanging out in the house. Even when they leave, They'll always come home to roost. Mutter letzudan afilu chutz l'chatzer l'tzarech yom tif l'shachten. You're allowed to trap them in order to shecht them. Aval shaloi l'tzarech achila, but for not for eating also letzudan, you can't trap them because for what reason? Let's say it's new birds that are just born. You don't know what their minig is, also letzudan, and you can't trap them afilu tzarech achila, even for eating purpose afilu k'shem bebesa, even if they're in your house. But when they're sitting at night, then you could take it. You should choose on Yom Tov which one you want to take on Yom Tov, because maybe the one you find, it's gonna be too thin. You're not gonna like it. You carried it and you moved it for no reason. And birds that are only meant to lay eggs are always muksa. Right? A guy asked me an interesting shaila today. He's raising pigeons, and the way to feed them is you got to hold them and you got to feed them like with a dropper. So he wants to know how he could do that on Yom Tov. I'm not exactly sure how he can do that on Yom Tov, to be honest. Yeah. But anyways, we will stop over there, and everybody should have a fine Yom Tov.
Thank you.